Hello guys, I hope you're well. Welcome to this class. Today we are going to learn about quantifiers. The first question that we have is, what are quantifiers? Are words or phrases used before a noun to indicate an indeterminate amount or number or quantity. Words like many, much, a lot of, and a few are examples of quantifiers. Quantifiers can be used with countable and uncountable nouns. For example, butter is an uncountable noun because we can't count the amount of butter in the block. And lemons are countable nouns because we can count the amount of lemons. For example, we can see 3 lemons on the picture. Now, how do we use quantifiers, or how do we use a lot, much, many, little, few, etc.? Let's begin with a lot of or lots of. With these quantifiers, we're speaking about a big number, and always we're going to add a countable noun after these quantifiers. If we look at the picture and we read the sentence, it's gonna be, Sarah has a lot of books, or Sarah has lots of books. We use a lot of and lots of because books are countable nouns, and a lot of is more formal than lots of. These quantifiers are generally used in affirmative sentences. Now, a lot or lots. This means a big quantity, and we always add an uncountable noun. We use these quantifiers to speak about uncountable nouns. How much soup do you want? A lot. We can't count soup. That's why it is an uncountable noun. A lot is more formal than lots and is generally used in affirmative sentences. The next quantifier is plenty of. That means an enough or big number, and we use it always with countable nouns. I have plenty of songs to take to the party. Songs is a countable noun because we can count them. Plenty of is generally used in affirmative sentences. Now, the quantifier plenty, that means an enough or big quantity. We are going to use plenty with uncountable nouns. Don't bring food. We have plenty. We can't count food. And we also use plenty generally in affirmative sentences. Many. In this case, many means a big number, and we are going to use many with a countable noun. Many is generally used in negative and interrogative sentences. For example, do you have many hobbies? We can count hobbies. There aren't many tomatoes left. We can also count tomatoes. We have an exception when we are using many, and this exception is used in affirmative form when we talk in a less formal way and when many is preceded by the words to or so. Let's look at the examples. There are too many cars in the city. Wow, you have acted in so many films. The next quantifier is much. That means a big quantity. We are going to use much with uncountable nouns. And much is generally used in negative and interrogative sentences. For example, we don't have much time. Did you pay much for this trench coat? There is one exception when we are using much. Much is used in affirmative sentences when it's preceded by to or so. For example, there is too much salt. I love you so much. The next quantifier is few. That can be used with the letter a before, and it's used like a few. And this means a little number, and it's always before a countable noun in a plural form. When we use a few, we give positive sense to the sentence. Instead, if we use few, it gives a negative sense to the sentence. Let's look at the examples and look at the pictures. There are a few chocolates to give to the guests. As we can see, the woman, she is happy because there are enough chocolates to give to the guests. Let's look at the second example. I have few chocolates to give to the guests. We can see that she's worried because there are not enough chocolates to give to the guests. Little or a little. This means a little quantity. We're going to use little always before a countable noun in plural. When we use a little, we give positive sense to the sentence. Instead, if we use little, that gives a negative sense to the sentence. For example, in the first picture, at the left side, we can see he speaks a little French. And we can notice that the person is saying hello in French. He knows how to speak in French. And in the second picture, we can see that the sentence says, he speaks little French. And we can see that the person is confused and doesn't know how to talk to the other two persons.